Rondine è un borgo medievale nel cuore della Toscana. Da 23 anni vi si svolge un'esperienza formativa in cui giovani leader che vengono da contesti post-bellici o anche di guerra accettano il rischio di cambiare la loro mentalità e costruire una relazione nuova. È interessante che avvenga in questo borgo perché continuamente viene ricostruito e diventa metafora della ricostruzione delle relazioni. In effetti abbiamo scoperto in 23 anni col metodo Rondine che la relazione è un esercizio proprio di costruzione o di ricostruzione e quando la relazione è solida diventa proprio come un borgo, un habitat. Le relazioni possono essere avvelenate dall'odio e dall'inimicizia o possono essere invece il terreno sicuro da cui volare nel mondo per cambiarlo a livello professionale, civile o anche politico.
Rondine promoted several initiatives in confidence building and peace building, also involving the local civil society and citizens to foster the reconciliation process, also as a support to the official and institutional process. The South Caucasus has always been central in this kind of activities, especially during tense moments and renewed crisis, which was also the case, unfortunately and unexpectedly, of the project Preserving Cultural Heritage.
Talking about the digital edition of the campus Preserving Cultural Heritage, we have to remember that it was designed and conceived as a one-week intense in-person training at Rondine, a neutral place in Italy. However, like the whole world, we had to face the global pandemic crisis. And faithful to Rondine method, we reshaped the crisis into an opportunity and changed the program, designing a longer duration online training course. All the participants were culture professionals and had undergone a careful selection process where we verified their ability to build dialogue with other participants from conflicting areas in South Caucasus. The selection of partnering organizations and experts was very accurate, and the sessions covered the areas such as international humanitarian law and cultural heritage law, identity building, cultural values education, the use of heritage in media terrorism and propaganda, illicit antiquities trafficking, and of course the heritage protection in areas such as Syria and Iraq.
I wanted to address the issue of facilitating dialogue between peoples in conflict or coming out of conflict. And I think through our session of Rashid international presentations, which focus very much on Iraq, we demonstrated how appreciation of cultural heritage can assist in identifying key areas for community interests that transcend ethnic, linguistic, religious divisions.
The project objective is to bring together experts on cultural heritage from divided communities of the South Caucasus to enhance their mutual trust and understanding. Cultural heritage is a topic generally discussed at the negotiation level, given the relevance it has for communities, for the history and the memory of the people. Thanks to this project, we wish to give a contribution to the policymakers and to support them starting from the grassroots level.
Archaeology can really serve as a social glue that brings together before the conflict. That's the whole point, because during conflict it's kind of more difficult, but before the conflict one can bring together people who are identified with the site.
We had many different ethnic groups on our own team, and that we were able to live and work together by having respect for each other and for each other's cultural heritage.
Yeah, you're right. We were encouraging them to maintain their identity and to see how it fit into a larger identity.
Furthermore, the whole program was enriched by the presence of a number of cultural components that were available only thanks to this digital format that we used. Thus, the program included a documentary screening with the filmmaker, a virtual visit to a museum, a digital photo exhibition and other cultural components.
Part of war and conflict has always been the collateral damage. Buildings have fallen in the path of military objectives.
In making this film and in the experiences around it, I have realized that the rehabilitation, the preservation, and the restoration and protection of cultural heritage can very much foster a dialogue between peoples in conflict, because it both highlights an understanding of our own particular culture and its preciousness.
The cultural heritage is a mirror of humanity. Cultural heritage is why we are here and why we will be, I think. How all we know that we are losing huge elements of cultural heritage during the period of conflicts. And it's extremely necessary to know it, to talk about it. It's extremely necessary to look into this mirror of humanity.
Culture has its way to unite people through traditions, values and beliefs that are passed from one generation to another. And culture is the thing that unites and defines us as a nation, as community and as people.
Finally, our Heritage Focus program was efficiently molded into the Rondine method of conflict transformation on the grassroots level. To realize this, a team of Rondine alumni and current students was specifically involved throughout the whole program to implement Rondine method activities as a red thread of all the campus activities.
And this is really the unicity and the added value that Rondine can bring to this kind of experiences, because Rondine students, which are usually labeled as enemies from the other side, they have a first-hand experience and they know the other, they understand the other, and in this way they learn how to work with relations.
Culture is the projection of human activities and habits of time. Culture can really be very united, since people can't survive without interaction and relationships. As a former student from the Universidad de La Pace, we talked a lot and developed the topic of relationship, and we valued it as a main pillar for peace. Simply, cultural heritage is the outcome of all the relationships and human emotions.
For me, participation to facilitate in this project, it's about that I can see action. I can see that I can do some steps. It's a moment when I can plant something. And Rondine experience gave me the understanding that how I can transmit my not indifference, my empathy. And this is the really important moment for me, to share with participants through our facilitating program.
The project Preserving Cultural Heritage, it was important and crucial because it taught each of the participants how to take care of the culture, tangible and intangible culture, and how to help it to pass down from generation to generation.
And we must confess that in spite of all the coronavirus challenges and digital edition difficulties, we managed to achieve significant results, both in terms of professional capacity building and in terms of planting the seeds of willingness to build dialogue among the participants who currently find themselves in conflict areas.
Before the start of the project, I had very little experience in this field and all the topics and discussions seemed new to me. But as we continued to forge ahead, I started to feel the connection to the words. I started to feel that they are part of me, part of my personality. And in fact, culture is a part of every person in the world.
We are dealing with human elements, human topics. We are not focusing on specific cultures. Our heritage belongs to us, to all of us. It is our common roots that we are exploring, that we are protecting, that we are trying to heal. That is the great potential of our archaeological, historical, and artistic heritage. That it brings us together because it belongs to our past. It is something that defines our humanity. And that is why we strongly believe that this is one of the key factors to bring us together, to go beyond segregation, separation, hatred, and with a common objective, try to focus on this, and together we can truly achieve these fantastic and very important results that regard us all.
And I remember that during our last debriefing session, when we had some exercise about drawing our emotions, many of participants, they drew rondine. And I think here we can say that the beginning is in this.